Hello, Chris.
Hi, Blaze. You all right?
Yeah, good. On to episode 2 of how we made our album. I think what we've got Warrior. And can you remember where the musical idea came from for Warrior? Or did it come from the vocal idea?
Good question. It's hard to because we did so many changes on this one,
Did we?
and I think we definitely started with the chorus because we had this kind of warrior idea.
Yeah, okay.
So we had this chord progression.
Yeah.
Because we wanted descending chords, so I think the idea definitely started with the chorus. I think we had quite a lot of the instrumental.
Yes.
But what I always remember about this one was us wrestling with the intro.
Yeah, this was the one where I had to go for a long walk because we never agreed about the intro, did we? We had completely different vibes of the intro, and I think we were used to it. It's difficult to, when you're used to something, to actually, right, let's hear a new version of it and to put aside the old version of it. And as we were looking down the album, we got a demo version of the album, and you know, as we've done on Entanglement, we've got, oh well, maybe we need something faster, something quieter to even out the song. So the actual album, as you're listening to it, you know, tells its own story musically. It doesn't all just sound like, oh, another fast song, another fast song, another slow song. And on this one, I really felt what was missing on the album was a quiet intro.
Yeah.
And then as I went for a walk about an hour with everything that we had demoed on, and as I played this one, we'd got a heavy start, and I played this, and that was it. We'd done a heavy start and a quiet start, which you weren't convinced about. And then when I came back from the walk, I'm like, yeah, it's the quiet start. That's absolutely it. And I think it still took a while to convert.
Yeah, what I remember is we tried to make it a bit more Dio rather than Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
For the intro, and I think what's good about it when I listen back to it now is it's got a quiet intro, but it's not a quiet song. It's not a soft song at all.
Yeah.
And then all the different passages. And I think I remember that when we were recording this, is no one section is the same throughout the whole song. Every section is different.
Yeah, it's a really nice journey. Death of reason on the other side of fear. All their hatred has devoured. Death of reason on the other side of fear. All their hatred has devoured. And the philosophy of this one as well, I think we talked about it at the start. I wanted everything on the album to be positive. not just because of what's happened with the virus and everything, but because of the last album, there's some the last three, there are some really positive things on there. And then re-releasing 10th Dimension and listening back to that, and then listening back a little bit to Silicon Messiah album, I felt like, you know what? This is an album that I want to put on and feel very, very positive about, have a positive vibe. So whatever song that you choose, there's some good feeling about it. And I think this was one of the first ones that was very serious about that, because it's quite philosophical. It's about inventing yourself. Well, it's taking your future in your own hand. That, you know, that speech I often do, I get carried away at live shows, and I really enjoy introducing Future Real by saying, take your future in your own hand. And I really seem to be able, sometimes I seem to be able to connect with people when I say that and get people in the moment. So I really wanted something that would do that in a song, and it's happened, because in this one, it's about being your own warrior, and I have that line, now my future is in my own hand.
Now my future is in my own hand. I choose my future is in my own hand. Now my future is in my own hand. I choose my future is in my own hand.
And this one as well is about being different, you know, and not really fitting in. And I think there's so many of us that like metal music, you know, with the nerdy geeks, but you know, and that was the other thing. I had these lyrics floating around for a while, and I wasn't able to fit them anywhere. And I was so glad they came together. We are damaged, strange, and different. And I felt really good that I was able to use those. So overall, I think it's a good thing, but it also goes back to that feeling of, well, you can make your own choices and you can choose to get back up. You don't have to be that, you know, don't let someone else choose the way you feel. Don't let someone else's crap spill into your life and poison your day, your life. That's their stuff. It's not yours. Even if it lands on you, you can still get up again. So it was a really good one to sing as we were doing it, and I really enjoyed it. But I think, it's nice as well for Warrior to be a chorus. I really liked the idea.
Yeah, it was a nice lyric for the chorus, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Once we got that melody in, and I remember you saying, "says Oh, this is a great word to sing." You know?
Yeah, it is, man. It feels great. What key is it in that chorus?
It's in B. Most of it's in B minor, so it's kind of like your Man Who Would Not Die key.
Yeah.
And it is a nice key to sing. And there was the midsection as well, wasn't the middle eight, which I could choose my destiny. Da, 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 da,
Oh yeah! Oh wow! Yeah,
that's I think that really took a lift, because that was almost like, because we only had one heavy verse, that was almost like your third verse in the middle, surrounded by guitar solos. It's definitely one that it definitely took more shape as we were recording. For me, it almost had a life of its own once we started tracking it.
I think this was one where, you know, I think we tried a couple of times to have a more conventional verse chorus arrangement, but it just wouldn't do it.
No.
It had its own life and its own story, and it just would not fit into that normal thing. And you're right, when we get that middle bit, I can choose my destiny, feel the freedom within me.
Choose which thoughts I will believe. Choose to get back on my feet. I can build the strength I need. I can find the bravery. Warrior, broken alone, left for dead. I can be a warrior. With courage to rise up again.
I want to check this. What can you remember, Chris, about the original music idea for Pull Yourself Up? Can you remember where we started?
I think initially we wanted like a different pace of song. We wanted a bit more like chunky, Holy Diver, Kashmir sort of kind of thing. And so it was a bit more mid-paced, away from the faster songs and away from the sort of like quiet stuff that we had at the time. And then there was another riff we had, like Sabbath, we nicknamed them Sabbath 1, Sabbath 2, you know, because we wanted to go down that route of like Heaven and Hell, Mob Rules. And then there was, I think this one was one where I think the chorus came later. The Pull Yourself Up, Pull Yourself Up. Because I think you came up with this great, what I'd call the bridge, I suppose, you know, in the key change was you know, I think that was really, really strong. You know, I think we were definitely in a Sabbathy mood. And I think we also came up with a lot of the instrumental quite early on. I think all that guitar solo you made me do on the green guitar, on the acoustic.
Yes. Yeah.
And which definitely worked, because I think everything we put down on that green guitar was the finished thing when I re-recorded it on the electric. So I think everything was worked out, you know, quite closely. But this one's definitely, if not one of my favorites, if not my favorite one of the album. I think it's just wonderful to listen to the melody on the vocal. And when that really big riff comes back in, when we've got this little quiet section in the middle, and when everything comes back in with the guitars, drums, bass into the verse again, that every time I hear that, I'm like, oh yes, yeah, do that again.
That life is preordained. When you think it's all or nothing, you abandon everything in your life that can distract you from the laser focus you require. Stop doubting your
I like is it's a song in two halves, a little bit like Ghost in the Machine.
Yeah.
The arrangement of it wouldn't allow itself to go in regular parts. It had a huge, big journey, then going into that instrumental. And I think it's a really nice beginning as well with this one. And I think lyrically, a key part of this, when we get to that first, I don't know what we'd call it, if we'd call it a pre-chorus or what, is abandoning yourself, destroying yourself, rejecting yourself, reinventing yourself. And I think early on, as we were on that, doing things on the acoustic, then I wanted this positive vibe for the songs and started to think about the two big obstacles, or two of the big obstacles that I had to overcome when, in my life. And one obstacle was that I wanted to be a singer, and people laughed at me and said, well, you can't sing. And in one review, somebody said, sorry, Blaze, you're just not a singer. And loads of people said, well, I remember one girlfriend that I had at the time said, just face it, you're never going to make it. And all I wanted to be was a singer and sing heavy metal and be like Ronnie James Dio. And so as we get down to that, in the first half of the song, it's about the memory of what it was like when people say, well, you're just not good enough to do that. That's impossible. It's stupid to have these dreams. And then the other thing was I had a horrible motorcycle accident, and the physio said, you'll probably never walk without a limp. And as we were doing this, that came into my mind. So there's two things. One, you can't sing. And two, you'll never walk without a limp. Those two things really stuck out. So there was a big investment there emotionally in that lyric, and when we came to record the vocal. And well, there's no big words, it's not complicated, and there's no like very different kind of rhymes that I sometimes do and find interesting words. It's very straightforward, but I think this is one of the most powerful things that we've ever written together.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a bit cheesy in places, but it's completely honest. And I'd rather be honest and someone think I'm a bit cheesy than try and look cool. But I really think it's worked. So great job of this one, Chris. And I think where is it on the album? It's number 4 on the album, and I think it's a great place for it as well. 4 minutes 47, and it just doesn't feel too long. It feels just right. Well done on that one, mate.
Yeah, well done to you, mate.
Great melodies, so pleased. Just telling the story more the solo, telling the story of the broken heart.
is it now, is it? Come on! Have it! Oh, it's just so much work in marriage, but it's just that whole. It's just a beautiful instrumental. You know, it's not an accident. That's why I'm so happy. We've worked it out. It's not just go, oh, that sounds good by accident.